So today on the bench, we have an iMac G3 Tangerine flavor in all its orange glory. And what we're going to do is give it some quick and easy upgrades to A, make it quieter, and B, make it faster. Basically by installing a nice new fan, nice and quiet fan, and installing one of these, which is a CompactFlash, one of these, to IDE adapter, which will basically give it like a solid state hard drive for pretty low cost. You can just pick these kind of things up on AliExpress, all of these parts. And we've even got a proper mount to mount it in. So stick around and let's make this Mac quieter and faster so you can do all your cool retro stuff on it. So as I said in the intro, we've got an iMac G3 Tangerine model here. All working, it's running the After Dark screensaver at the moment. It's all nice and complete. It is missing the flap off the side, but I do have a spare flap that I have borrowed from another machine to make sure that this one can be complete. But yeah, so today, as I said, we're going to put a new fan in it, which will replace the aging fan, which is starting to make a fair bit of noise. Plus, I think, to be honest, the fans that Apple put in these right from get-go weren't the quietest. And secondly, we're going to change the old spinning hard drive. Now, I actually do quite like the old noise of spinning hard drives in these, the clickety-clack of them, but there's pros and cons to it. If you put something a bit more modern in it, it will speed it up and also improve reliability. Plus, these hard drives are just dying. This one's actually not too bad. You often find they get those whiny noise as they get older. This one doesn't really appear to be doing it at the moment. Most of the noise coming from this one is the fan inside it. So what I'm going to do is just to benchmark the test that I'm going to be doing first of all, is I'm actually going to just use my Apple Watch and just put it on the noise meter there and just go quiet for a second. So it's registering about 56 decibels with my watch up there, sort of above the vents on the Mac. That is my sort of noise rating while it's running. That's where most of the noise seems to come out of there, because obviously there's air movement and the fan is down in the middle of it down there. I can't really test the hard drive noise because the hard drive is in the front there, but this will be a good test because most of the time when I'm doing one of these mods, I want to just try and reduce the fan noise so that it can run without it being actually hearing the noise. So, what we'll just do now is shut it down. All right. So instantly, the moment you turn that off, you can tell it's much quieter already. So now I'm just going to do my very unscientific decibel reading. Okay, we're now registering 37 decibels. Now, in my testing, because I've done this a few times, I've got over here, you'll see a Bondi blue iMac over there. That's got the mods done already. I find that generally gets you into about the mid 40s decibels on that very unscientific test. There's probably much better ways to do that test, but for the purposes of what I'm doing here today, that will do. All right, so now we just need to unplug it and get started by flipping it on its front and accessing the internals. I'm at least 98% sure that I've been inside this Mac before. So, because I'm pretty sure when I got it, I checked to make sure it didn't have a battery in it. But basically, the way you do it is just kind of undo that screw and then work your hands around here to unclip it from everything. Generally, I find if these haven't been opened before, this is really hard to get off. Like if it's been there for 30 odd years, well, actually not 30 odd years, but close enough. It will be very, very hard to get off. That was actually very easy. That Bondi blue iMac that I was talking about before, when I got that and opened it up, I honestly do not think anyone had ever opened that. Because it took me a solid 15 minutes, I reckon, to try and get that bit of plastic off. Because I was trying to do it without damaging it. Just had to basically, like I was sort of doing, use your fingers to work it to get it out. So we're just going to unscrew all of this and unplug all of this, sorry. And there we go, take that out. Now, I'm not really doing this video as a guide on how to dismantle one of these. I've done other videos about that process on my channel, and there's also plenty of other videos out there that go through that process as well. So have a look at those. But the main first thing we need to do all of these mods is change the fan. So, and there we go. All right, so definitely been in here before. There is no battery in the slot there, which is good. That's what you want. Needs a bit of a dust. She's got some dust going on there. Otherwise, this kind of rusting on this bit of metal here, shield there, it's kind of normal. It's actually really just right under this spot. So obviously moisture and stuff that the Mac has picked up over the years settles on that and causes it to rust a little bit. It's not too bad. I mean, if I want to do a full restore of this, I would take that off, sand it back, and coat it with some sort of anti-rust. All right, there's my fan. As you can see, she's pretty dusty. So even though this wasn't too bad, it's a bit grotty. Now, most of this modification that I'm doing here today is relatively safe for anyone to do, and screwdriver is not the best screwdriver for this, because you're not really dealing too much with the high voltage part of the Mac. But there's a big caveat to that. I'm about to take this fan out, and that then gives you a nice little hole where you can get right into the high voltage part. And so obviously, as normal, use extreme caution and make sure you know what you're doing before you muck around in one of these. I'd say this is the original fan, and it just pops out when you take those two screws up, and out it pops. Now, sometimes this cable is really long and sometimes it's not. Really just depends on the model of the analog board in the Mac. I think from memory, the Bondi Blue iMac has the original analog board, and the fan is powered from this side of it. So it's got a much longer cable that comes from that direction. These newer colored iMacs, the 5 color ones, comes from this side. Now, sometimes you can actually go in there and you can unplug that, because it's just basically on a plug. Oh, I just got a bit more room by just maneuvering it a bit. And it's just attached in there. But it's also actually really hard to then put it back. So what I actually generally just do is chop this off. I'm not going to use this fan ever again. This fan has served its life, and it can go now. So I'm just going to give myself maximum amount of cable, and just chop that like that. And now I've got my wire there. Obviously, as I said, this is all the high voltage part of the Mac. So if you're putting your fingers in here, do not touch too much stuff. Actually, just don't touch anything. That's the safer bet, better alternative. All right. So what we'll just quickly do now is I'm going to do a quick cut montage to me taking this fan out of this socket and putting this one in. This one is a replacement one that I bought on AliExpress. It's nothing particularly fancy, but it's very quiet. The only thing that's a little bit funny, the wires are very thin. It's got 4 wires. Obviously, it's got speed controls that it can vary the speed of it. I'm not going to use any of that. I just basically need to use the positive and negative and effectively attach it to this wire. But what I'm just going to quickly do is cut to this fan now being in this socket after I've also given it a bit of a clean. Okay, so what we've done now is we've installed the new fan in there, given that a bit of a clean, got all the dust out, thrown the other fan away. One important thing just to make sure when you're doing that bit is to make sure when you feed the wire through, or when you put this back in this case, is to feed the wire through that hole there, that little round hole, because otherwise, I've had the situation where I've forgotten to do that in the past, have the wire coming out the front here, and then it actually needs to go back inside there. So there's actually no way to do it, and I've connected the cables up and then had to pull the whole thing apart again. So one important thing is just to make sure you put it through that hole so you can get to it easily. Now, I do like to leave the cable a little bit longer than what Apple have done here, just so that we've got some flexibility if we ever need to remove this again in future. I've got the fan correctly mounted so that it is sucking the air from this side. Sorry, yep, no, that's right, yep. Sucking the air from this side and pushing it out that way, which is what it does. It sucks the air in through the logic part of the Mac and through the analog board and out the top of the beds. So that is the direction we want this to be. Now what I need to do is I just need to trim these, well, not trim the wires, I just need to pull the insulation off here. I'm just going to preheat my soldering iron because we're going to need that in a minute. And so just take a little bit of the insulation off these cables. Again, like I said, these cables on these particular fans that I bought are really thin, so I've kind of got to be careful. But there's not a lot of wire in here. I think they're cheaping on a few things with these. But they've been pretty reliable. I bought a fair few of these now to repair these kind of Macs. And they seem to work pretty well. And they're cheap enough, so you can always replace it again later on if need be. But, all right, that's that one done. Now I need to do the same thing here. So, for that, I'm just going to take this back a little bit so that it's currently twisted around. Because I need to put a bit of insulation on this, so I want to basically have a little bit of play with my shrink insulation that I'm going to put on it. All right, so now I just trim the insulation off these. Like so. Come on. Oh, a bit of insulation flying somewhere. I have no idea where that went. All right, that's that. Now, down here, I've actually pre-cut a couple of little bits of just some heat shrink that I can put over the wires when I solder it, so keep them nice and insulated. So I've got a black and a red one there. They're probably a little bit too long, actually. They don't need to be this long. I'll just trim them back a little bit. And just push that far enough back that it won't start to shrink when I go to solder this. All right. Now, this is the part you have to do a bit of finagling about. I'm just going to sit the fan down there. And just make sure I get the positive and negative right on this. So the way you can tell on this particular fan is one of these cables has a white stripe on it. That is the negative. So all we're going to do is now just twist these two wires together. Pretty simple, and do the positive one as well. And that's that. So now all we have to do is just do a bit of solder on them, just to make sure they're nice and secure. I really need that to sit there like that. There we go. Just get the solder. Now I just moved. The other way of doing this would be to, as I said, get that out and just change the plug on the end of that so that actually plugs in. But that is easier said than done. I'm pretty sure you can finagle in there and get that out without taking the whole case off, but it's also just a lot of extra work, and I don't really want to mess with too much with this Mac because it is working pretty well. I don't need to do an analog board repair on it at the moment. So, all right, so now I'm just going to move my insulation that I put on here just over the joins that I've put in. And then what I have here, if it turns on, is a heat gun. So this is the beastie. If I push that, I'll start putting out some 300-degree heat. Yep, it's pretty warm. Don't really want to do that like that. There we go, I'll just turn it up a bit so it's a bit faster. All right, so now I'm just going to do that over my insulation there. Doesn't need a lot. This shrink wrap works pretty well, and that does it. And we'll leave that back over there, and that's it. That is now done and dusted. Just to give it a little bit of extra protection as well, one of the other tips that I often do is I will get a really small cable tie and just double this wire back on itself. Stay there for a second. Just so it's not ever like if you ever pull this out again, you're not pulling on that join that you've just done. It's probably overkill, but there we go. So that now is just looped in there, cable's all nice, and then we just sort of tuck that in onto the side over there. So it's out of the way, and then that can just go back in the hole. Although, actually, no, I tell a lie, I've done that wrong. There is one trick to this. That little round circle that you pull this cable out needs to go in there where that lip is there. So if you see there, it's basically a bit of a lip. There's a little bit of a raised edge there, so it just allows you to push it in there. So don't ever try to force that into that spot, because most likely you're putting it in the wrong way. And just try and push that cable in so it stays out of the way. All right. All right, there we go. It's positioned itself. All right, so now I'm just going to push that in with the cable nicely positioned out of the way. It goes in really easy. So if you're ever trying to force that in, that you've done it the wrong way, and you need to make sure that alignment is correct. Generally, I find if you're ever having to force anything, something's not right. Now, the next part of this mod, once I put this fan in, that's the fan done. The next part is the hard drive. And then we can put it all back together and test it out. So just finish putting this screw in. Nice and clear fan, looks good. Nice and clean as well, which is even better. All right, so that's that done. Now we'll move on to the hard drive. So to do that, we're going to get rid of the Mac and put it down on the floor so it's out of the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is flip onto the top cam here and have a look at what we're playing with here. So we've got this hard drive adapter, which, as I said, bought off AliExpress. Pretty cheap, nothing particularly fancy with it. Basically allows you to take a compact flash card, one of these, and turn it into IDE hard drive. Basically because these behave pretty much like an IDE hard drive. So you just need an adapter to convert it to the IDE plug. Set the master slave correctly. This one is now currently set to the master position as per these jumpers, and off you go. You've got a very quiet IDE hard drive, and hopefully probably last for a long time. This compact flash card also bought off AliExpress. Again, nothing particularly fancy with it. I'm not going for some super speed thing here. I'm not doing anything particularly breathtaking with this iMac G3. But this will do the purposes of what we need here. I've also got this, which is a 3D printed case for it, or like a mount for it. The original mount that I got off Thingiverse for this, somebody obviously already designed it for these. These are pretty common on AliExpress. So they had designed this, had longer tails off the side here, mostly because obviously it was designed so that you can mount this into a floppy drive and then have your compact flash removable. I'm not doing that with what we're doing here today. This is going to be completely internal, and the only way to ever take this out will be to take the drive sled out. So essentially what I did is I chopped off these ends because basically with those ends it wouldn't have fitted and mounted the correct way, which I'll show you in a second. So we've got that and that. We need a power cable for it, of course, because they've got a power adapter there. So again, another just AliExpress. Bought that, so that then plugs into the normal iMac G3 power plug. What else have we got to do in here? While we're in it, we're going to put a battery in it. So I'm not going to put one of the old lithium batteries in there, just because I don't want it to ever leak. So I've got this CR2032 toaster with a nice CR2032 battery in it. So that's going to go in there as well. So that's the run of what we're doing. So let's get the beastie up on the bench. Now basically you would think, oh, I need to take these screws out. Actually, to get the CD drive out of these, you don't. You just need to push it forward like that and it unhooks. So you push it forward, then pull up in the front, and that is all just effectively spring-loaded in there. Now I just did that a little bit rough and I was a bit worried that I bent the pins, but nope, you've got to be careful when you do that, that you don't bend the pins. It's quite easy to. I nearly felt like I did. And yeah, this basically has some metal mounts on there that sort of give it that sort of ability to spring load in. That's our hard drive in its original glory. What is it? I think this was only really small. It's 6 gigabytes. So this compact flash card is 2 gigabytes bigger than this hard drive. So we're also doing a space upgrade as well. Now I do need to undo these screws to get the hard drive out. That's basically what those screws are there for, to hold that hard drive bay in. And we do need to get into it. So now these also take some finagling. Basically underneath here, you'll see that these little hooks here, they basically, you have to kind of push the drive forward. Oops, sorry, there we go, up there. Push the drive forward so that they aren't hooked in. So if you push it forward, they're not hooked in, then you can lift it out. So essentially what I need to do is do that, and then using this middle thing here, which I'm assuming is what this is for, you kind of lever the hard drive up. And it just sometimes takes a little bit of finagling. There we go, and we're out. Then just gently unplug our IDE cable from there and our power cable. Lovely. Let's It's a little bit dusty in there, so we'll just give that a little bit of a brush out, just to there. Loosen up that dust, which I'm now breathing in. I'm just going to spray a little bit of eucalyptus oil in there and give that a little bit of a nice wipe in there, just so that that dust is gone. Move that out of the way, we don't need that for the minute. And there's our beastie hard drive in all its 6 gigabytes. Western Digital Caviar, sorry. 26400. Obviously been pretty reliable. This hard drive has lasted, I think the dates on this iMac is 1999, so it's lasted a solid 25 years, going on 26, 27. All right, so we just take that out. I'm going to keep this because this hard drive actually still works, and it's always good to have some spinning hard drives if you need to test something. So it will go in my pile of test hard drives in case I ever actually want to put a spinning hard drive back in here as well. I'm just giving this a bit of a wipe as well, just because it was also dusty. This metal bracket just needs to go back in there. Will help in the future as well. So the way we mount these is essentially with the front. So this is the back of the iMac and this is the front. So I mount them so that this bracket is basically equal to the edge of this metal bracket. Now, I actually need to modify the 3D model so it actually has holes in it, so I can then mount it. But I haven't done that yet to this one, so I'm just going to get a Sharpie and just draw myself a hole that I need to drill there and there. So the other good thing about this being here is that this will sit nicely on there and not short anything out. You don't have to do anything fancy with insulation or anything like that. It'll just sit nicely on top there. All right, so what I'm going to do is just drill these out. I've just got this little hand drill bit here. So just basically point on that and apply pressure. Basically just so I've got a nice hole to be able to drill that into. Now, the screws that were holding that hard drive in before aren't the best to mount these because they're not self-tapping. I did find, where are we? I found these ones when I was looking before. Now I feel like I pulled these out of a computer years and years ago. And I've got a whole stack of them. Where are we? They're kind of like little self-tapping ones. So I'm hoping that hole that I made is big enough. I might just need to make that hole slightly bigger. The only thing with these is that they don't have a Phillips head on them. They've got apply pressure. A flathead screwdriver now, which I don't really like using on this, but for the purpose of what we're doing here today, that will work fine, I think. All right, our holes are made. Now we need to mount this in this bracket. I've got some little tiny screws that I found before. I need to go and buy a bunch of these type of screws for mounting these type of things because I go rummaging through my collection of screws and I feel like my collection of screws is starting to run out because I've rummaged far too much. Now, this is generally the first time this screw's ever gone in this hole, and because this is 3D printed, I've got to make a bit of a thread, so I've got to give it a bit of pressure there. All right, nicely mounted. we've got our compact flash card. Now I've already put an image on this compact flash card. So I've got my normal image that I use for a tray loader iMac, and see that goes in nicely there, look at that. And then we just position that there like that. Okay. Okay, that screw actually worked really well. I do find you can't really tighten them up too much. They'll either, because it's just 3D printed, it just starts to thread. But in the grand scheme of things, this is not like it's a traditional spinning hard drive. It doesn't need to be too tight in there. And it's not holding a lot of weight. Okay, got that in pretty tight. I'll just blow out the leftover of the 3D resin or 3D print that's come out of there. So that's it. So that's basically all you have to do. One thing I did forget to do though then is I forgot to attach my power cables. So I just need to now try and do that while it's in position. I normally would have done that before I mounted it, but I have not done that. So we'll just push it in there. The reason why I like this 3D print actually is because it's designed specifically for this hard drive adapter. So it's got the little space cut out already, so that just plugs in there. And as I said, now if ever I need to get this out again, I'll be able to basically just take the tray out and I'll be able to access the compact flash card. All right. So I don't need those 4 screws. They're the old hard drive screws. So we'll just put them over there. Now we can bring back the base. But what I am going to do is deal with this dust situation that's going on here. So I'm just going to do a quick jump cut, take this outside, give it a bit of a brush off and blow with my compressed air, and then we'll come back and this will be much more cleaner. Okay, here we go. Look at that. That looks much better. I took this cover off basically so I could clean inside there, because that was also full of dust. I'll just put that back on. It just clips on. If I was doing a full restore of this iMac, I would probably actually take this heatsink off and just make sure everything looks all right there, but I'm not going to do that today because that is a bit above and beyond what I'm doing here. We're just going to quickly change this battery over, or actually put a battery on it because there's no battery in here. Let's take the cover off. Have a quick look-see and see where it's supposed to be positive. That way, so the battery goes in like that and that. And we'll just put that cover back on over the top there. Doesn't quite click on as well once that battery is installed, but it'll do the job. And we'll just do a quick voltage check to make sure we're getting on the battery terminals a nice solid. There we go, look at that, 3.3 volts. And now what we do is we just need to insert this back in. So to do that, again, double check to make sure you've set the, one of these, some of these don't have the slave master switch on them. They're just designed to be the master. This one does, so you can actually have it as the slave hard drive, but make sure you double check that, because otherwise you will have problems. It doesn't seem to be a cable select mode, which again is something obviously very common on hard drives. All right. Now, I'm just going to take this cable over here. One thing I find with these Molex cables I buy on AliExpress, these are particularly cheap, so you've got to be careful that you don't push them out of the little bracket. And they don't really work that well. Well, They do work well, sorry, they just don't really, they're just hard to line up, basically. That's an expensive Moldix plug, this is not. So it just generally takes a little bit of finagling to sort of get it to lock. There we go. You just got to kind of work the cables to make sure they actually go into the sockets there. They're not the most expensive plug. And then all you need to do is you just sort of stuff that down in there. There's plenty of space in here because you've taken out a rather large hard drive and created a lot of space. So then it just needs to slot in and make sure you get over those little metal brackets that are in there. That Moldix adapter is now blocking my access. There we go. I think it's over, and then we clips in. So again, if we flip over there, we'll see they're nicely in there. So that's in position. And as I said, if I ever need to change this compact flash card, change out, put a bigger compact flash card in here, all I have to do is basically take the whole tray out and remove the CD drive, which you don't have to unscrew anything, and then I've got easy access to this compact flash card through this adapter. That's why I quite like the way these mount in. Screw this back in. So obviously with this mod that we're doing today, there's a couple of things that you're making quieter. Essentially the fan helps quite a lot. That just gets rid of the normal running noise of the Mac. But obviously not having a hard drive in it, that will quieten things down quite a bit as well. We'll reattach our CD drive in there. Here we go. We're back in. More finagling required here. We basically just sort of shove that in there, and these things here effectively. Actually, what's going to happen is they will. That just gives us a bit of pressure. These things here hook in to this spot down the front, I think. So push it in like that, and there we go. So it should be able to move like that. That's it, we're done. Hard drive, new hard drive is in there, compact flash card, hard drive, and we put our CD drive back in. So now let's get the Mac back up on the bench and put all this back in and test it out. There we go. Heavy beastie. All right, let's have a look. Ideally, I would like to test this fan before putting it back together again. There's no real easy way to do that. You can kind of mount this half in by sort of attaching these cables and power it up with this not fully attached, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to fully mount it and just assume that this is working, because I am trusting that what the model that I've done is really, really good. We'll be able to tell because you'll be able to hear the fan. This fan is not, like, it's quiet, but it's not completely without some degree of noise. And you can also feel the air coming out of the back of it, top of it, sorry. So now, just get the drive sled in. This is always the fun and games part. You got to get those little bits there. There we go. Get that out. Now, you kind of got to make sure your CD drive is, because remember that was sort of pushing in, that allows you to make sure that is sitting flush with the front of the Mac. The other thing you can test to make sure you've got it in right is that those screw holes should line up nice and perfectly. That. Again, don't have to force it, just give it a nice firm push, and then we'll reattach these. Just rescrew in the video cable. Now this mod is obviously something you can easily do on any of these tray loader iMacs. You can use the hard drive mod on the slot loader iMacs just as well. They don't have a fan, so you don't need to replace that. I have put a fan in a tray loader Mac before though, sorry, slot loader Mac, just because they probably really should have had fans in them. And that's a much more extreme mod though, because you've got to go into the high voltage side of it and mount the new fan inside. But for these old beasties, this will do nicely. Now, our door fell off before, or was missing. Actually, I think by the looks of it, oh no, there. I thought the little clips on the plastic were broken, but there we go. That's how you do it. You kind of put your finger in there, and there we go. That is now attached. That took much longer than I was expecting it to take. Probably easier if this base wasn't 100% attached. All right. That's on, that's it, we're ready to go, we're ready to give this beastie a test. So let's flip that back around so we're not sitting on that for the minute. And put it up on its back. Oh. I'm obviously not putting the base back on yet, and just I'm going to do a bit of a test. Okay, we need a mouse. So I have my appropriately coloured keyboard here for this Mac. Tangerine, we'll set that up there. And a little flap. Oh, I don't need that. How does that go in there? There we go. And attach that into that. All right, let's go. Moment of truth, the test. 1, 2, 3, power. Okay, I can definitely hear the fan. It's quiet though, it's much quieter than it was before. High voltage is kicking in. There is airflow coming out of the back of this. And it's booting. So, and there we go. It's got macOS 8.6 on the image that I've installed on that hard drive. This is my sort of sweet spot for these color tray loaders. It seems to be the one that works the fastest and got the most compatibility with everything that I want to do on them. And it seems to be booting. Is it? Just thinking about it. Yep, there we go. The extensions are just starting up. So much faster than a normal hard drive. And there we go, we're a desktop. Now, there is one problem with this. That background is not the appropriate background for a Tangerine iMac. So I think that needs to be immediately fixed. Background appearance, there it is, that's what I was looking for. Themes. I think we want Lollipop 4. And we're also just going to put those platinum sounds back on because, you know what, I just like sounds when I'm clicking on things. There we go. And it's all working, so that's really good. All right, so what we'll just quickly do, we need to set the time because that time is well wrong. Now we've got a battery in there. That should be something we can do reasonably easily. All right. It's not the 27th of August. It is the 26th. We're just going to set it to a more modern year for the minute. Let's see, how far can we go up? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, there we go. 2019. I think, yeah, okay, that'll work. We'll just leave it on one of those years for the minute. I think if I boot it into a slightly more modern operating system, I can change that later. All right, time, set that correctly. Everything else looks good. Background is good, and what we will just check now is our noise level. Let's see how well this compares. So if you remember, our noise levels were 56, oh, there we go, 56 decibels for the original fan that was in there, 37 when it's turned off. So I'll just do my normal, put my hand up here, push that, and have a look at what we got. We're sitting 47 by looks of it. Yep, 47 decibels. So about 10 decibels quieter than the original fan that was in there. Plus a much more modern fan and just probably a bit more reliable going forward. Also much cleaner. That's it. This is working perfectly. I'll just check our CD drive and see if that still goes out. Yep, there we go. It goes in nicely, nicely aligned. You ever see one of these on Facebook where someone's selling it and the drive is sort of sitting in? It's because they haven't mounted that tray back in there properly. Definitely I can feel a nice bit of airflow coming from there, so that fan is working really well and it's just much quieter. So it's pretty much almost silent. That's it. So that is my main mod for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a quick and easy mod that you can do on these. Firstly, just makes them quieter, makes them a little bit more reliable with a nice brand new fan in there. And much faster having just a CompactFlash hard drive, plus you can give it a space upgrade. So now you can play all your retro games on there and put lots more stuff on there. So that's it. This Tangerine is working really well. Very happy with how that's turned out. I think that will do for today. One thing I just forgot, just as I'm in the middle of signing off there, I forgot to put the bass back on. So that's the one last little bit extra that I need to do to just complete this. So just for the sake of completeness, I did put the bass back on. Now we'll throw back to me closing the video out. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Please leave comments. I love reading them. If you've got any feedback or thoughts, I'll drop some links as well to some of the stuff that I used in the comments section of this video. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it for today. So thank you once again, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video.